Welcome everybody to Beat the Shift Baseball. This is episode 119 for Wednesday, September 15th. I'm Alex Uwe. I'm here today with Farbod Markazi and Ray Estrada, and we have a great show for you today. We are getting super close to the end of the season. Every playoff race is extremely tight. We'll talk about the recent news. And we've also not podcasted in 2 weeks again, so we have lots to catch up on. Before we dive right in, we'll go ahead and ask you to follow us on social media at BeatTheShiftBP. That's the best place to get in touch with us because we want to hear what you have to say about the things we talk about. If you have any ideas, suggestions, or if you just want to say hi, at BeatTheShiftBP, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. All right, let's get into it. Farbod, Ray, how are you guys doing?
Good.
Good.
12.
One-word answers.
Fantastic.
No, only one. You only get one word. I told you.
They were all technically one word.
But that was 3 words, you see. So it was not that.
But every word is one word.
I am going to ignore that because it hurts my brain. Yes, like I said, there's just so much playoff news. I think everything here is really all about playoff implications at this point. I really miss this after last year when the playoffs was just everybody goes. Everybody gets to play, and if you win, congrats. But this year, in the full 162 format, back at it. I can't remember it being this intense. Maybe it's just because I'm a Yankees fan and I'm watching 4 teams realistically vie for playoff spots and all of them being contenders to win the World Series, but maybe that happens every year too, and I'm just forgetting about that. Let's just start there because there's a lot of NL West and wild card race stuff to talk about in other areas, but let's start with the AL East and the Blue Jays in particular, making things super interesting. They decided to go ahead and sweep the Yankees in a 4-game series on the road to put themselves firmly right back in the wild card race. I think they're tied right there with the Yankees at this point in time as of recording this for those wild card spots ahead of Boston, just barely. And the Blue Jays after that went ahead and murdered the Orioles, which they've done before. But when I say they absolutely murdered them, they scored 44 runs in the span of 24 hours during that series. They had a doubleheader on the first day of that, in which they scored 11 runs in each game, and came from behind to win in both games, which is just, it's crazy. Their offense.
I forget which game it was, but one of those games, all 11 runs came in a single inning.
Yeah, it was something else. They were getting no hit actually until that inning. So to put icing on the cake there. And then the next day, it was a day game, so within the span of 24 hours, put up 22 runs in that game, and were pretty comfortable. It was not a close game, to say the least. So the Blue Jays, despite losing today, they lost a close game against the Rays.
They are tied at 81 and 64 with the Yankees. Boston is a half game back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, despite all that, though, they really do look like a playoff-built team who has the hottest lineup in baseball right now, without a doubt. From top to bottom, the guys you know, the guys you don't know. Like, I saw Bo Bichette and George Springer are not even top 9 in OPS in that lineup since like mid-August, or whatever arbitrary date you want to state there, but like about a month. And and Bo Bichette's OPS, by the way, is like 900, and he's not in the top 9. Yeah,
Can we just take a second and appreciate? A lot of times when guys take 1-year deals, it's because they didn't have a great year beforehand, and they're just betting on themselves. And sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. My God, Marcus Semien, he is putting together an incredible year. I don't know if it's like MVP like quality in a different year, where I saw some people on MLB Network saying he should be getting some votes, but 882 OPS, 136 OPS plus, 39 bombs. He's almost at 100 RBIs. That entire team is just very well put together offensively, and it's a lot of fun. And they got the runner-up in the AL MVP and not named. They got the runner-up in the AL MVP and Vlad Guerrero too. So
Yeah, everybody's putting on a show in their own special way, and Vlad does his by hitting absolute laser beams out. Did he pass Otani, or is he tied with Otani?
He
Still,
passed Otani.
he passed
he
him.
passed Otani.
He passed him, by the way, with a 15-degree launch angle home run, which is as low as it sounds. Is just a line drive over the third baseman's head that got over the fence, basically. So, incredibly fun. Marcus Semion's probably going to win his third place MVP finish in his career. And everybody else was kind of sleeping on him this year with the down year last year. I was like, there's no way last year was anything remotely close to his true talent because he was so good with the A's. You do not have a third place MVP finish type of season like that and have that be a complete one-off. I'm sorry, unless there's injuries or whatever other circumstances. So, I
to be
believed
fair,
from the start.
I don't think any of us going into the season, if I remember correctly, of any of our conversation about Marcus Semien, I don't think any of us thought last year was who he was.
No. But particularly in fantasy, nobody liked Marcus Semien for some reason. And I was like, this dude is ridiculous. Nobody saw this much power because he's never hit for this much power. But, yeah, he's probably going to finish third in MVP voting. And at least now, it is very possible. And I'm hoping for it at this point because I do want to see this team in the playoffs, despite my team being right there in the thick of it too. Because of the fact that they realistically will have the second and third place MVP finishers, and there was a chance for a while when we were saying that they were not going to make the playoffs. Like, how would that work? Well, they might make the playoffs now because of those two and everybody else.
I'm looking at our 2021 predictions from the beginning of the year. 2 out of the 4 of us had the Blue Jays as a wild card team.
Who are the two?
Ray had them as wild card 2. And Rudy had him as wild card 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, none of us had Boston. I know for sure because Boston was not.
No, Boston was supposed to be bad this year.
Yeah.
Boston, by the way, is barring a miracle from Seattle, is going to tie. Is going to make it a 3-way tie with a win.
Oh, that's so fun. We love that.
I also, if I'm looking at this correctly, I don't think many of us put the Rays in the playoffs.
I don't think we thought that them trading away Blake Snell and having to play 100 extra games this year was going to sustain the kind of output they had last year. But we were obviously very wrong.
We had them as wild card 2.
Okay, good. I'm glad.
Yeah. That's insane.
I also think we put a lot more faith in the Yankees than they
did.
Kind of deserved.
The Yankees just straight up forgot how to play baseball for multiple stretches of time,
and then they remembered for 13 straight games, and then they kind of forgot again.
They lost 7 in a row not long after that. So I don't know what this team is. Maybe they're just trying to time incredible hot streaks with expert efficiency.
The Yankees were each of ours AL East champion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that checks
Andrew Heaney is like a go-to long relief guy for them. They're in great shape.
No.
Oh man.
No.
Former Dodger, former Angel, Andrew Heaney.
Dodgers legend, Andrew Heaney.
Dodgers legend.
In any case, the AL East is the best division in baseball, barring nothing else, and it all it's times like this when I'm just asking myself, why even have the divisions matter for who makes the playoffs anymore? Like, why can't they just do what the NBA does? Like, they still technically have divisions and they play teams in their divisions slightly more, whatever, but their playoff seeding is all done from their conferences, or I guess in this case it would be each league, and just take the top. It doesn't matter however many teams you would have otherwise. Just take the top teams, because there's absolutely no way that any flukishness is gonna happen. Um, it's not really that case because Houston and the White Sox are both really strong teams too that are ahead of these wildcard teams. But I mean, you can take a look at the other side of things in the National League and say that, you know what, the Dodgers probably should be the 2 seed in the National League when it's all said and done. But that's not how it's going to work. Or I mean, whoever comes in second between the Giants and Dodgers when the season comes to a close. What do you guys think of that? Is that ridiculous, or does it just seem like a no-brainer?
Win your division. That's how it's set up. Win your division.
Well, that's how it's set up. Yeah, that's how you get in.
I'm fine. I'm fine with it. It puts more onus. Like you can't just cruise into like, oh, okay, we're second best.
You can't though. If you're taking the best from the whole league, you have to beat everybody. You don't have to just like you can look at the Brewers, right? It's like win your division. They've won their division, but if it was a case where their playoff
so they've earned the right
standing
to host.
No, I'm saying like they've won it with like a month and a half left to play, is all I'm saying. Versus where it's like you have to be looking at the other teams bearing down on you in other divisions, like just across the league. Like there's so much disparity in how these divisions play out that it seems doesn't it kind of rub you the wrong way that one of the Giants and the Dodgers is going to have to play a wild card game?
No.
It's really it says the fan of the team.
If Dodgers don't win the division, you got to live with the fact that you have a 1-game wild card.
That's so dumb. They're going to be the second best team in baseball.
But they weren't the best team in their division, so they don't.
So they're relegated to a 1-game playoff when a team like Atlanta might win like 85 games in comparison and win their division and not have that at all. They could literally win 20 fewer games, it seems like at this point, and not have to play a wildcard game. That seems wrong, right, Farbod? Like, just saying it that way?
Can you please repeat your question?
Sorry. So, doesn't it seem wrong that the Dodgers, who have 90... Right now, they have 93 wins, and they are in second place, first in the wild card. If the season ended today, they would have to play a 1-game playoff. And in the NL East, the Atlanta Braves are sitting with a comfortable 4.5-game lead first place with 76 wins.
Look, you can say that, but we've had this conversation since when was it? When the Pirates were a 97-win team in 2013?
We've had it since the Yankees won like 100 games in 2017.
Yeah,
yes, there was that too. And the Red Sox also went off.
The Pirates won 97 games. They lost in the wild card, and everyone was like, "Man, this is some bullshit." Like, this is how it's set up.
Look, I know I know it. That's like just saying this is how it is. I'm
not. Look, obviously, for Major League Baseball, they're gonna want the best of the best in the playoffs. They want the best product of their game to be showcased on national television, to be going at each other, competition and everything. So yes, I could foresee like somewhere down the road, maybe it's not in this CBA, but in the next one, where they move to a more NBA type style. It's going, like, it would be more so the best from the AL, the best from the NL, and who knows, that could be good for baseball. But for now, I don't feel bad for I don't feel bad for the Giants or the Dodgers or the Pirates years ago for being relegated to a potential wild card game, and I don't feel that much better for the Brewers, who I know are just going to go and probably put up a pretty good fight. Like, in the end of it, they don't have a lot of wins, but like, that Brewers team is not one to just disregard.
The Brewers do have a lot of wins. I was referring to the Braves,
Brewers team,
who do not have.
Let me tell you right now, that Brewers team is going to be dangerous in the playoffs with the pitching they have. If they get a little bit of offense, that's going to be dangerous in the playoffs.
I like that segue because we should talk about perhaps their best duo and threat that basically exists in baseball, and that would be Corbin Burns leading into Josh Hader for a no-hitter. Corbin Burns struck out 14 in his start through 8 innings, but the pitch count was a little bit high, so they were like, you know what, we'll just have one of the best closers in baseball try to finish up the no-hitter, and then we'll be good from there. So that is what they did, and nobody is the least bit surprised because I think Corbin Burns really is as good as it gets, and that's not to say that the Dodgers or any other top team doesn't have anybody that can match up against him, but he is going to win the Cy Young now, especially like Jacob deGrom really left us wanting more, but Corbin Burns is actually stayed healthy and is putting up crazy ridiculous numbers.
Done and dusted yet.
It's not done and dusted. That's when like the Dodgers have 2 guys in their own right that could easily just take it with a couple more good starts. But Corbin Burns, I would say, is a notch above right now. His last start helps a little bit as well.
Would I
surprise
you if I told you that none of us put Corbin Burns in our preseason predictions to win the NL Cy Young?
I would not be surprised because I also think he was he number 100 in our top 100 right now entering the season? At least we had him in there.
He might have been. But also, like, how could you pick against DeGrom?
Yeah, you get everyone picked for the MVP. It's the same thing. Everyone picked Trout. I picked Shohei, so I'm gonna collect my bragging rights once that happens.
Yeah, that's fair. You win
after you guys were like, you guys, but
you thought Shohei would win it with like a 20 home run season and like a 3.5 ERA.
Yeah, so really you were wrong.
I have the bold prediction. I said 20 plus home runs, 15 plus.
The plus is important.
10 plus stolen bases.
It should have been times 2.
Anyways, not trying
to. Nobody bet on Trout's calf exploding.
Yeah, and Joe Madden lying about it either. 6 to 12 weeks, my ass. But
I believe he said 6+ weeks actually. So really, that that's...
if I
works both ways.
Not trying to segue too much. Basically, obviously, we can't discount anything Corbin Burns has done and the rise he's had. But I mean, just to defend ourselves a little bit, Jacob deGrom was going to be Cy Young if he didn't get hurt too.
Jacob deGrom was going to have the best season for a pitcher ever if he didn't get hurt.
Yeah,
I think it's a very important distinction. So
yeah, that
I don't know.
He could have won.
And he was
MVP.
still like 1-1 on the year.
Okay, I don't think the wins narrative actually played out that way this year, but could you imagine if the Mets just like did not win for him in the type of season that he
left a lot of games tied, I think.
7-2, 1.08 ERA.
Yeah, 7-2 is not
okay. He did get wins this year.
Yeah, but oh my god, I miss those days.
Oh yeah, because that was a good first half Mets team, and then they collapsed after the All-Star break.
I really miss those days though. Tracking Jacob deGrom finishing with more WAR than wins. I wanted it to happen so badly, and it never did. It was close. It was really close. But the point remains, going back to the Brewers and Corbin Burns, and really just the way that their whole team is constructed as a serious threat in the playoffs. I really don't know. I mean, they have so many pieces that just work despite not having a very strong lineup, if that makes sense. It feels very Royals-esque in a lot of ways, doesn't it? Well, I mean, Lorenzo Cain is the most Royals-esque way, but like everything else about it, like their lineup isn't particularly strong.
No.
They play good defense. They pitch really well, and they have their guy. I mean, the Royals years, it was kind of like they went out and got Johnny Cueto or whatever it may be. But with Corbin Burns, that is a heck of a guy to have, really. The Dodgers have two of their own, but like, if it is,
and Kershaw's back.
Yeah.
And we're talking.
I don't think Kershaw's in that tier.
Postseason.
I don't think Kershaw's in that tier of.
We're talking postseason. Like, I thought we were talking postseason rotations.
Yeah, we are. I'm more talking about like matchup wise, just like the top guys like Scherzer, Buehler, Burns. The Giants realistically don't have that caliber pitcher. Like, they have Gausman, they have Webb, they have good pitchers, but these guys are kind of in a league of their own right now, like that next tier up. So, and those come to play really, really well in the playoffs. So I don't know.
I do have one take for the playoffs that might change what everyone else expects to happen, and I saw it in a tweet today.
Okay.
In 2010, the Giants beat the Padres in San Francisco, and they clinched the playoff spot. In 2012, the Giants beat the Padres in San Francisco and clinched the playoff spot. 2014, the Giants beat the Padres in San Francisco and clinched the playoff spot. And in 2021, the Giants beat the Padres in San Francisco and clinched the playoff spot. Is that
coincidence?
Dodgers in 4.
Dodgers in 4.
Man, the thing. Okay, that's the thing too, though. Is like you hear that and you're like, don't like, the Giants are the best team. Like, I don't feel that way at all. I don't think a lot of people feel that way because, like I said, they don't have any top tier players.
But we've talked about this. Go literally, at least the podcast that I've been on.
Yeah.
For this,
yeah.
I feel like we've talked about this every podcast, and rightfully so. They just have everyone doing something. It's not like, obviously they don't have a bona fide $400 million man, but everyone is.
Samardzija.
Great. He was a great tight end, 20 years ago. But it's. I don't know. Like, we've been doubting them. All of baseball beat writers, everyone's been doubting them for this whole year, and they're still there. Like, at what point do we stop it? Like, do we really think
I've stopped doubting, but then you look at their team and it's like, I don't blame anybody who thinks this can't be sustained.
No, I 100% agree with that. I 100% agree with that. My question is, at what point in, like, do we think that this just isn't going to work in the playoffs? Is that what people are saying? Like, do we think that everyone pitching in, everyone doing their part, not having anyone with over 20 home runs? I don't know if that's still
that's no longer true.
Bell and Yaz, I think, both have over 20 now.
Okay, fine. Not having anyone with over like 22. I don't know.
Fair.
But is that sustainable in the playoffs now? I guess that's the question. But at this point, we've asked this all year. I'm kind of getting tired of it. Why isn't it time to be like, man, the Giants are like, they have no one that we expect to be on a, like, they have no one that's like, oh man, that guy's going to carry them to the World Series. But at some point, you got to start believing in them, right?
I think the playoff question is a fair one, though, because if you match them up against the Dodgers in a 5-game series, can they win 3 out of those 5? I'm not saying they can't, but then can they go, say, against Milwaukee and win 4 out of 7 against that rotation? It's a fair question. They're not. I mean, you look at their team; they're a great regular season team. It's hard to look at it. They're not the most formidable team on paper if you're going into a short series or a 7-game series against them.
Uwe, I realize I've just taken all this podcast from you, and I know you're the one that's supposed to ask questions.
Wait, what? No. Ray, keep doing the thing. I'm good with that.
Yes.
How mad are you gonna be if you lose to the St. Louis Cardinals in the wild card?
It's gonna be frustrating, but like honestly, like Dodger fans will come to expect it. It's like really.
The Dodgers,
That-
the Dodgers
hey.
really are
We
the
are
Yankees.
scarred by
The Dodgers really are the
yeah.
Yankees of baseball in that case. The
The
self-loathing
Cardinals
fans.
have a negative run differential.
Did you say the Dodgers are the Yankees of baseball? Like,
It was a direct reference to an A-Rod quote.
oh,
Do you not remember that one? That's an all-timer.
Wait.
Yeah, this year.
Oh, I have not watched a lot of Sunday Night Baseball this year.
I'll send it to you. But yeah, that's a.
That is.
I see it all the time. It's like, you know, Dodgers fans say like we're the Yankees of baseball. Yeah, it's pretty great. The A-Rod gems that we get to reference.
I'm still rooting for my Reds to be in there. I'm not a Reds fan, but I have become.
Yeah, I don't know. The Reds are
the
missing
Reds
a lot.
All the momentum, and then like they got a 1-game lead in the wild card, and then just like sucked again.
Well, how could you not want Joey Votto, Jonathan India, and Wade Miley in the playoffs?
I would love to play the Reds in the wild card game, but like,
can we clip that for when the Reds move on to the division series against the Dodgers, so we can?
That's gonna be the least like hurtful like team to lose to. Like the Padres or the Cardinals is gonna suck if we lose to them, but like the Reds, like, oh, we kind of just have to be mad at ourselves.
Yeah.
I mean, fair.
Well, to kind of put a cap on this discussion, so apparently, you know, it will suck, but you are okay with being the second best team in baseball by a great margin and still having to play in a 1-game playoff.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, that's where we started.
That's where we started. And I also feel really weird that I didn't mention Brandon Woodruff's name once in talking about the Brewers.
I said it.
You said it. Thank you.
Brandon Woodruff and Freddie Peralta. That three-headed monster. Good luck.
Yeah. Thanks for finishing that one, because I think I got Corbin Burns tunnel vision there. And yeah, Adam Wainwright for the Cardinals is just gonna like lead them the whole way. Forever. Like, I mean, I don't understand it, but it's gonna happen.
I'm so down for that. How could you not like Wainwright? Did I just say that in 2 words? How could you not like Adam Wainwright?
Yeah.
He's gonna be a great broadcaster.
He will. Yes, he's already there.
Yeah, he did a good job. He did a good job last year.
He's already pretty much there. I don't know how many people expected him to be pitching at this level in 2021, because this is a renaissance like I don't think I've ever seen before, considering how subpar he was in years past. So
I mean,
good for the Cardinals. We didn't really talk about the Padres much at all, but they were spiraling before, and they still are. I think Cronenworth's missing some time now, and Snell left last series with an injury, and Yu Darvish is still pitching poorly. It's all falling apart over there in San Diego.
They're still employing Jake Arrieta.
Yeah, and they kind of have to. So if they make it in, you know, that'll be fun. The Padres still remain a very fun team to watch.
That's the thing, like it seemed like the second wild card was gonna get really exciting, or like maybe the Reds would sort of take control of it, but now it's like a spot that nobody wants, and the Cardinals are kind of like, oh, we're here.
Well, yeah, the Cardinals went out and landed the blockbuster John Lester to help boost their playoff chances.
And J Happ.
At the trade deadline, and look at it. They're 6 games over 500. They're right now, if the season ended today.
Look at us.
Who'd have thought?
Yeah, and on the AL side of things too, I just want to mention with Seattle and Oakland still very much there. It feels like a lot of wind taken out of sails on that side of things too. So,
you know what's crazy?
Oakland especially.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought Oakland was I've monitored the standings, and I knew Oakland was second behind Houston, but I thought Oakland was definitely in the playoff picture, even though I knew they weren't one of the wild card teams. It's kind of crazy that like if the season ended today, they wouldn't be in there, and they are 3.5 out, so they got a shot. But
I had them winning the division, I think, and going to the World Series.
you know what kind of player Oakland could use right now?
Marcus Semien.
A Marcus Semien to help boost them up a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know if Elvis
he was so
Andrus
expensive though. Like, I'm not sure they could afford him.
At least they got Elvis Andrus, right? Yeah.
Hey, they got Chris Davis back. Saw that the other day.
This is such a throwback, man.
So it basically became just straight up Jonah Heim for Elvis Andrus.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that wraps up most of the discussion about the playoff picture. I'll touch on a couple other things that we didn't really get into much, but Max Scherzer, who we talked about a little bit already with the Dodgers, in his last start, recorded a very historic 3,000th strikeout for his career. He's the second fastest player to get there in terms of innings pitched. And he also threw an immaculate inning, his third of his career, just because he felt like it, and took a perfect game into the 8th inning versus the Padres. So he didn't quite get there. Gave up a double to Eric Hosmer. Max Scherzer and almost throwing perfect games. Name a more iconic duo. But that was unbelievable.
Max Scherzer and throwing no hitters.
The fact that he is doing what he's doing still, without any sort of regression.
ERA since he got into the Dodgers.
He's pitching better than he's ever pitched, which is beyond me. So,
yeah,
I want to see more, honestly, and I really hope that he gets to pitch in the playoffs, because I don't know if Bueller would line up for a wild card game or what, but all the more reason.
I hope he gets a hit this year.
Does he not have a hit?
No.
It's lame.
He's over 52.
He's kind of washed.
Kershaw came back last night and had an infield single, and Trey Turner yelled at Max Scherzer like, "Hey, he got a hit," and Max Scherzer was like yelling at Trey Turner. It was hilarious.
Very intense player, Max Scherzer. He looked pretty pissed off when he was getting a standing ovation, and had to tip his cap. He still had.
Did you hear the story about how Dave Roberts, like in his first start, tapped him on the ass?
Yeah.
And then he said, "Don't let me touch me." Yeah. So now everybody stays out of his way on a pitch when he pitches.
Nobody told the Dodgers fans commemorating him. Yeah. He's like,
also
let me pitch.
The Nationals Roberto Clemente Award nominee.
Of course.
That seems appropriate. It does.
Yeah, I mean, in the end of it, I'm not a Dodgers fan, and I wasn't particularly happy that a guy like him was going to LA. But at the same time, you guys know this, he's been my favorite pitcher in baseball for God knows how long. It's just that old school, give me the ball, get out of my way, he said intense. It's just like, yeah, I can't wait to see him in the playoff. I think right now, at 36 years old, he's like, I got a shot to win my second ring. I'm doing everything I damn can to make sure, at least when I pitch, I'm good.
Yeah,
and you gotta love that, man.
To bounce off the there was news on Roberto Clemente Day, which is, well, I guess today when this comes out, is September 15th. That would be the day going forward. Like Jack Robinson Day is always April 15th. Roberto Clemente Day will always be September 15th. And they are allowing any Puerto Rican player in the MLB to wear number 21. Every Pirates player can wear 21, and every active former winner of the Roberto Clemente Award can wear 21 on Roberto Clemente Day. So that is a quick update.
That's awesome.
That is interesting.
Yeah. That's awesome. My only question is, you said can wear. Does that mean someone's just going to be like, no, I don't want to wear number 21 on this one day? or is it like
maybe if they forget? I don't know.
No, it's like everybody wears 42 on Jackie Robinson Day. It's not like a league wide thing. It's because they did it last year for the first time. Like the Puerto Rican players did it, and all the Pirates did it, and they expanded that list a little bit to like former MJ award winners.
Yeah, no. I guess my question was more so on the semantics, but you said can wear.
Oh,
like as in like one
somebody's just like nah.
Yeah,
they're allowed
just
to.
like nah. Okay, I see. Sorry, move on.
Yeah, but anybody else who wants to wear it, tough luck. Pretty much. And one other thing of note, we had the Subway Series over the weekend.
Speaking of Puerto Rican players.
Yeah, really good series of baseball, even as a Yankees fan.
Really long series.
Yeah, Francisco Lindor though had a big game on Sunday Night Baseball. Hit 3 homers and took down the Yankees basically in a very close series finale of that. He hit 4 total that weekend. So I don't know if the Mets are going to make the playoffs, but at least Francisco Lindor is doing something because he had a very big no production type season up to that point. And I don't think we talked about this last time because our last podcast was mostly about how the Mets fans were not so thrilled that Javier Baez openly said that their team was doing the thumbs down to essentially boo back at the fans. And as you can expect, there was a lot of booing. And I believe that it was that first day game back. It was the first game of a doubleheader too, I believe, where no, it wasn't. It was a 9-inning game, so I don't think it was a doubleheader. But Javier Baez ignited a very improbable 9th-inning comeback for the Mets and scored at the plate on a very aggressive base running play and lost like $20,000 earrings that he was wearing in the dirt in front of home plate. It was just a very strange series of events. There's not really much more to analyze or to say about that, but why was he wearing such expensive jewelry while playing baseball? Can anybody answer that?
Because he's gonna get like $30 million this offseason at least.
There's
football. I don't know why he's at 30. He's gonna get a lot more, but
I think there's a football player. I forget who it was, but they lost a couple $100,000 piece of jewelry too. These guys just do it, and I guess I don't know.
Baseball is temporary. The drip is forever.
Unless you lose it
until it's lost. Yeah.
Yeah,
I can't imagine.
And I thought it was great that when the news was breaking or like people were tweeting about it, like Sandy Alderson was one of the people down on the field, like combing around in front of home plate with some other grounds crew, and Baez looking for the earrings.
To be fair, like
he's trying to get some more payroll.
How much dirt is there to lose earrings? Like I'm sure they were studs, but like.
Yeah, man, I don't know.
Hey, all I'm gonna say is, if this happened in Oakland, Billy Beane and Oakland would be there would be legit private investigators on that field. They need all the payroll they can.
Billy Beane's not there.
No, I know, but I'm saying. Oh, but if it was, hypothetically.
Also, did I say 20,000? I meant to say 200,000 was actually how much the earrings were worth. So, not to downplay that at all, that is a tenfold increase on the value of those earrings to what I said. So, you're damn right. Sandy Alderson's going to be down there to aid with the search. So, yeah, that is our weird stuff segment. That is the entirety of it. Javier Baez, you are so weird, and I guess that's fun. So, I hope you got some new earrings to celebrate something. I don't know. But I think that is going to do it for us today. We will be back again before the playoffs start, for sure. And
less than 3 weeks.
Yes. There is
for about 3 weeks.
Not a lot of time left in the season for teams to make their move, and we'll be watching intently. So we'll check in on how all of that is going again next week. So yeah, if you are still here, thank you very much for sticking with us. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like or a rating wherever you're listening. Leave a comment. I think you can do that on YouTube or some of the podcast platforms out there.
And smash that like button. Hammer subscribe. Right? That's YouTube stuff?
Yeah. Smash the like button for the algorithm is how you say that. And what else?
You comment for the algorithm as well.
Yes. All the things. And I'll plug our social media again. At BeatTheShiftBP, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. That's the best place to reach us. And see when we post podcasts and all that good stuff. So, yeah. That is going to do it for today. Thank you, everybody, one last time. As always, Farbod.
Peace.